is Joe Biden, isn't it?
That would be a fair assessment, yes, Senator.
Under President Biden, if you wait in line for legal immigration, you're a chump, aren't you?
When you look at the benefits that have been given to people and the speed at which they've been released into the United States.
Thanks, Senator Klobuchar. Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Arthur, you are with the Center for Immigration Studies, is that right?
That's correct, Senator.
And that's a nonpartisan think tank, is it?
It is, sir.
Okay. The border is an open bleeding wound, isn't it?
That's a fair way to characterize what's been going on for the last 4 years, sir.
The southern border is chaotic by design, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I've been covering the border for 3 decades, and yeah, it's pretty chaotic.
Would it be fair to say that the broken southern border is man-made?
It would be fair to say that, sir, based on policies that have been implemented.
And that man's name is Joe Biden, isn't it?
That would be a fair assessment, yes, Senator.
Under President Biden, if you wait in line for legal immigration, you're a chump, aren't you?
When you look at the benefits that have been given to people and the speed at which they've been released into the United States, I would be chagrined if I were waiting.
You're
for
a
years.
chump, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
General,
Yes,
you
sir.
believe in open borders, don't you?
I believe in the rule of law, sir.
Right. And it makes you angry that President Trump does not believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Senator, I'm not here to discuss immigration policy. I'm here to discuss whether or not we use the military to enforce it.
And it makes you angry that most Americans don't believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Not in the slightest, sir. Again, I am not here to discuss the immigration policy.
Yeah. Duty, honor, respect, you talked about that
Yes,
in
Senator.
your opening statement. On October 14th of this year, you went on CNN. I want to read you what you said, make sure I'm accurate. Here's what you said. President Trump is not like any sane leader. I'm very proud of General Milley for saying that President Trump is a total fascist. To Bob Woodward, if he as chairman of the Joint Chiefs is calling the president a fascist, I'm so proud of him for breaking that barrier. The challenge is because most MAGA Republicans, they don't understand what fascism is. The reality is that they are, in fact, fascists themselves. Did I read that accurately?
Senator, I am happy to discuss my personal perspectives with you separately at any time. That's not the purpose of the hearing today.
Did I read that accurately?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. You think you're smarter than the American people, don't you?
Absolutely not, Senator. I am here to discuss the use of the military as part of this mass deportation.
You think you're more virtuous than the American people, don't you, General?
Senator, I am insulted by your comment.
Duty, honor, and respect. You talked about that in your opening statement, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Moran said, I wrote down her words. She said, by their actions, you know what someone's character is like. You agree with that?
Senator, for 35 years, I served my country with absolute honor and distinction, and I will continue to do so.
You agree with what Ms. Moran said?
Of course.
I've got a few minutes left.
23 seconds.
Well, actually, you let Ms. Klobuchar go well over, so I'm assuming you'll extend me the
I'll
same.
give you the same minute I gave to her.
You gave it a minute 20 at that time.
You're using.
I watch you like a hawk, Dick. Mr. Melnick, Mr. Reichlin Melnick, you believe in open borders too, don't you?
I do not, Mr. Kennedy.
Okay. On November 1st, 2022, you tweeted, both Texas and Louisiana have their knives out for black immigrants. Do you remember that tweet?
I don't, but it's quite possible.
What Texans, it's not only possible, it happened. You're not denying it, are you?
No, I'm saying, refer
What
to the
Texas?
context.
Who
I
are you
actually
talking
don't
to?
know the
Who are
context.
you talking to about who in Texas had their knives out for black immigrants?
Guessing the context, but my suspicion is
Give
it
me a
has to
name.
do the
Give me a
Attorney
name.
General Ken Paxton and
Give
the
me a
Attorney
name.
General of
Give me a
Louisiana.
name.
I just did.
You don't have a name, do you?
I just said Ken Paxton.
You don't have a name, do you? You just said it, did you?
Just said Ken Paxton.
All right, how about Louisiana? You said Louisiana has its knives out for black immigrants. Who in Louisiana were you talking about?
Again, I'm not certain. That was 2 years ago, and as I'm sure you know, much has happened in the last 2 years.
Well, did you say it?
Again, I do not remember the context.
But you don't.
Senator
You
Kennedy.
said somebody had their knives out from Louisiana for black immigrants, but you don't know who they were. You just said it.
I said the Attorney General of Louisiana and Texas, and I believe this referred to specifically lawsuits brought and arguments that were made in court that the arrival of Haitians
I'm out
and
of time,
others
but I
were
want to get you
inherently
on the
dangerous,
record.
which was
You
not-
Thank you very much, Senator.
believe
Appreciate
that the
your
Attorney General
questions.
at that time of Louisiana had his knives out for black immigrants. That's your testimony.
Given their
Thank you, Senator
litigation
Kennedy.
conduct, yes.
Senator Hirono.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
It began with a single sentence, cut like a flare through the hearing room. The border is an open, bleeding wound. Senator John Kennedy said it, and the witness across from him, Andrew Arthur of the Center for Immigration Studies, didn't blink. "That's a fair way to characterize what's been going on," he replied. Then the next admission fell, heavy as a gavel. Chaotic by design. And when Kennedy pressed the origin, Arthur did not retreat. "Man-made," he said. "That man's name is Joe Biden." In an age of euphemism, this was stark language. Accusation, meeting, acknowledgement, the choreography of a congressional showdown turning into something raw, not rehearsed. Kennedy built the line of questions like a scaffold, climbing, tightening. "If you wait in line for legal immigration, you're a chump, aren't you?" he asked. After a pause long enough to matter, the answer came, "Yes, sir." 2 words that sliced through a decade of policy white papers. But then the hearing swiveled away from the think tank witness and onto a uniformed figure who had invoked duty, honor, respect in his opening. Kennedy's questions shifted from policy to character, from border doctrine to public judgment. The senator read aloud the general's recent words on television about fascism, about MAGA Republicans, about a former commander-in-chief. The general protested the premise. He wasn't there to discuss immigration policy, he said. He was there to discuss whether the military should be used to enforce it. Yet the quotes were real, and the contrast was unavoidable. The rhetoric of restraint in the hearing versus the heat of prior public commentary. When Kennedy asked, "You think you're more virtuous than the American people, don't you?" The general answered, not with doctrine, but with feeling. "Senator, I am insulted by your comment, revealing the human fault line beneath the institutional armor. This is the power of congressional oversight at its most unforgiving. It forces one room to bear the weight of many rooms. A witness's TV remarks don't vanish at the cloakroom door. A think tank conclusion doesn't stay politely theoretical when tested against the human consequence of policy. And a senator's theatrical cadence, sometimes comic, sometimes cutting, can, in the right moment, draw out the simple admission that years of bureaucracy have obscured. From there, the table turned again. Mr. Ryn Melnick faced questions about a 2-year-old tweet. Both Texas and Louisiana have their knives out for black immigrants. Names, context, evidence. Kennedy demanded them, one by one, refusing the safe harbor of vague memory. The exchange tightened. "You don't have a name, do you?" "Ken Paxton," Melnick said finally, invoking the Texas Attorney General, then gesturing at lawsuits, court filings, heated claims about Haitian arrivals. But in the space between tweet and testimony, something else was exposed. How our politics now leap from allegation to conclusion, and how social media turns accusation into atmosphere long before the facts are established. Congress dragged that atmosphere back into the light and made it audible, accountable. What does this sequence reveal about government, justice, and the American experiment? First, that language is power. The government speaks in rules, memos, and regulations. Citizens speak in stories and pain. Congress speaks in questions, questions that demand the dialect of reality. Open, bleeding wound, chaotic by design, man-made. When those phrases enter the congressional record, they bind the bureaucracy to the moral consequences of its choices. No spreadsheet can soften them. No talking point can contain them. Second, that credibility is currency, and it is running out. If lawful immigrants are chumps, as the witness conceded under pressure, the law itself begins to look like a fool's errand. If a general who invokes duty, honor, respect also broadcasts political contempt, even once, the apolitical reputation of the uniform trembles. And if experts shoot arrows on social media, knives out, without precision, public trust that experts can fairly referee our fiercest debates frays a little more. In that room, the committee did not decide border policy. It did something deeper. It audited the honesty of the words used to justify it. Third, that leadership in a constitutional republic is not merely the management of policy, it is the stewardship of legitimacy. That legitimacy is eroded by double standards, by systems that tell one class to wait and another to hurry, one camp to obey and another to excuse, one faction to temper its speech while another indulges in the luxury of demonization. The hearing placed those asymmetries side by side and asked the country to look, really look, at what happens when rhetoric outruns responsibility. And finally, that Congress still matters. For all our cynicism, for all the easy claims that these rooms are just stages, something real happened here. A senator demanded clarity. A witness admitted the costs of current policy. Another confronted the conflict between public moral language and prior public scorn. A third was made to attach names to sweeping accusations. It wasn't tidy, it wasn't polite, but self-government rarely is. The American system was designed to make power uncomfortable, especially when that power wraps itself in noble words and asks to be trusted on faith. So let this be said clearly. Borders are not abstractions, they are laws, and laws mean nothing if compliance becomes a punchline. Speech is not a toy, it is a trust, and when those who carry institutional authority wield it carelessly, the country bleeds confidence. And oversight is not cruelty, it is fidelity to the people who cannot afford the luxury of being wrong. When the chairman called time, when microphones cooled and the hearing room emptied, the echo that remained was moral, not procedural. If the border crisis is man-made, it can be unmade. If the law has been turned on the dutiful, it can be turned back to the dutiful. If our leaders want the respect of the public, they must first respect the public with honesty, with consistency, with the humility to apologize and the courage to change. That is the meaning of today's shock. Not spectacle, not outrage for its own sake. A reminder that the republic survives when truth is forced to the surface and made to answer. This is the Congress Brief. If you believe this work matters, if you want hearings to expose contradictions, hold power accountable, and make policy human, subscribe now and support our reporting. Help us keep the cameras on, the questions sharp, and the truth loud enough for the whole country to hear.